It's time for another Dice Tower review with Zee Garcia.
Hey everybody, today I'm taking a look at a small roll and write game called 21. 21 here is a game in which every player is going to be rolling dice on their turn, and every player on everyone's turn is going to be writing down some notes, hoping to get the highest score possible. That's all there is to it. Let me give you a look at how this works. We'll come on back. I'll tell you what I think of it and what I think of it compared to some of the other popular roll and write games out there. Where does it fall in comparison to those games? Here we go. So here's everything that comes with the game. You get a pad of these sheets, you get some dice, you of course get also a rule book here, a rule leaflet in German though, so I'll just put that aside for now. You can find rules in English and other languages on their website. And then you are going to give everyone one of these sheets, something to write with, and you are ready to begin. The sheets are not identical. There's actually 6 different ones until it cycles back around to the original that we saw there. Right, so this one and this one will be identical, but so you have several different ones there. So ideally, everyone in the game should have a different layout. And then you're ready to go. So the objective of the game is to get the highest score at the end of the game, and you are going to be doing that by filling in values in these spots, writing in the value totals over here, and then a total sum down there, hoping that's higher than anyone else's. Here's how it goes. I'm just going to show you one of these for now, and I'll write in it so you see how it works. Let's say it's my turn to roll the dice. I would take all the dice, I would roll them all, and then I can, if I want to, I can re-roll one time. Nothing that rolled a 1 may be re-rolled, but everything else has to be re-rolled. So if I re-roll, I have to re-roll all of these. Let's say I am not going to do that. I'm going to keep all this, okay? Once that's done and I've decided to either re-roll or not, then everyone is going to have to fill in at least one value in their current line. The current line is whichever one is closest to the top that is not already completely filled in. And people will finish these at different times, but I have to work on this line until it's completely done, and then I'll start working on the next one, and so on. So what I'm attempting to do is write in values in these spots as high as possible, never higher than the printed pips on there. So for example, in the black spot here for the black die, I can put up to a 4, but no 5, no 6, and anything below a 4 is fine as well, though not as good, of course. So right now, I've rolled a 5 in red, which is the absolute best that can go there. So I'm going to go ahead and take that, and I would just write an upside down, there we go, a 5 in that spot. Also, since it's the exact value that this spot wants, I'm going to check off that little box right there. And I could write in something else if I wanted to, like that yellow could take at most a 2. I rolled the 1. You know what? I'll take that as well. And I don't check the box because it's not the most that can be there. Once that's done, everyone again has to write in at least into one box. And the next player will go, they'll take them, they'll roll, and they will re-roll if they want to. Let's say they do. And they get that, and then I would check my own sheet and see if I can write anything in. So the white 3 here is perfect. I'll go ahead and take that. I'll check off that little box there. Everybody else does the same thing. I'll go ahead and take the 3 in black as well, because it might not get better than that. Next player rolls. They do that. And they don't re-roll. Now, let's say that I got that roll. My only choice here is to put a 1 in the green spot, which is 6. That's too bad. I only get 1 point when I could have had up to 6. But let's say the next roll gives me that. And blue is my only one left over. If I cannot fill something in, I have to cross off one of the squares. And it's always the one furthest to the left. Which means if the green, or let's say the blue, for example, the red rather, had rolled a 6 and I still had not filled it in, and this is what I got, meaning just those 2 could have been filled in, then I have to cross off the red, not the blue first, okay? But in this case, I would cross this one off, and then I would add up the total for my line. The numbers are my total plus a bonus for everyone that has that little X, which means it's perfect. So this is 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 2 X's, which tells me right down here is another 3. So I said 13 plus 3, that is 16. I would write that in there, and simply on my next turn, start working on the next line. No matter whose roll it is, I'll just start working on the next one. Game's going to be over when someone completely fills in their sheet, which might happen at different times for different people. When someone does it, you still add up your you add up your final line. You get that score. You'll add these up, and then down here you'll write your final score. Okay, so your final sheet might look something like this one here, and then you'll get a final score at the end. In this case, I got a 79. So there you go. That's how the game works. Very simple, really straightforward. Everyone is involved all the time. So let's go back up top and let me tell you what I think about this little roll and write game, 21. All right, so there you have it. Let's take a look at some talking points here. Starting with thematic ties. The game is abstract, so we're moving on. The aesthetics are pretty good. Very clean design. You know, the sheets that you write on are very clear. They are straightforward. The dice are well made. It's possible that there is a color blindness issue here with the sheets not having a symbol to tie them to the dice on every one of those squares. But I don't know. I'm not colorblind. I cannot speak to that. But be aware of that. If you are colorblind or play with someone who is colorblind, you might want to look at these and decide before you maybe make a purchase, okay? It's a possibility. It's possible that it is an issue. Replayability is fine. The game is going to be fun for a while, perhaps, and they do give you plenty of sheets, I think, to play enough. I like the sheets are different, up to 6 different players. But the gameplay, I don't know how often you'll be coming back to it. That's all I'm going to say about that until I get to my final thoughts, okay? Game length is great. Game's quick. You don't feel like you have wasted turns because you're involved almost all the time. It's done when it needs to be done. You score up. Scoring's easy. That's all great. So no problem with the game length. Ease of play, also very nice. The game is not fiddly. All you need is something to write with, and you're good to go here. So it's very easy to play the game. Rolling the dice is satisfying. It's all good. And then lastly, tactics and strategy and luck, of course. The game certainly has a lot of luck. And the only choice that I've been able to discern from playing multiple times now is that you have to decide how quickly or how slowly you're going. Because when someone does finish, then you're done. And that's really it. You know, it's this idea of the green can take a 5, you rolled a 3. Do I just take the 3 and try to hurry and finish this line? Or do I wait for something better than the 3? That's the choice, okay? Everything else is kind of obvious. If you rolled a 5 in red and my line takes a 5 in red, I just write it in. If you rolled a 1 for my 1, I write that in, okay? Even the one you cross out is not, you don't get that choice, right? Like when you have to cross one out, it's the farthest one, like the best one. You cross that one out. So that's not a thing to consider. So there's not a lot of choices here is what I'm getting to. The game is almost an activity. It very much plays very easily. Oh, and you get to re-roll, okay? That's a choice. But usually you sort of, it's fairly apparent if you should or should not. So the game's a little bit on rails, which I think, in my opinion, makes for a nice, satisfying activity, and I do enjoy it, but it doesn't make it as captivating as some of the other roll and write games that do bring to the table a lot of interesting choices, not just rolling dice and marking something on your sheet, but thinking about where you should do marks, what you should mark, where, why, now or later, these things, okay? And so for that reason, I find this one to be one of the simpler roll and write games. Certainly a very easy, breezy, beautiful game. But not one of the better ones necessarily, okay? So if you are looking for one that is a little more strategic, that's going to give you some interesting choices. If you are a gamer, then this might be a little too light for you. Probably. If you are looking for one as maybe for a non-gamer, if you are a non-gamer, if you enjoy that kind of game, if you're looking for one for a gift for someone who is not a gamer, then I can certainly see this going over very well. It's, like I said, it's a little package that pops. It's got a great look. Colors, vibrant, It's a nice little package, but it's not going to have the oomph that the genre of roll and write games has developed lately. And that's sort of how I feel about 21. So there you go. That has been 21.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.